Okay, here we are again in Nogales, Sonora, Colonia Solidaridad. Yeah, and I would have to have a train whistle blowing right now in the background, but that'll stop. So this is video number 4, probably my third attempt at making it, because I didn't have enough memory in the phone and I didn't have enough battery, but this will kind of bring us up to date on all of the construction and our progress here. So I'll just shoot as much as I can from down here, and then once I get upstairs you can kind of mentally blend the perspective. This little return is for the trash can. And that tube, that's the water line going in, but I put that ABS around the outside for insulation. It was just convenient to keep it from freezing. So, interior of the garage. We have a Kia Soul, the Explorer, and my company Equinox, and then my Ranger. So 4 cars are fitting in here. Not comfortably. You know, you have room to move between 2 if we squeeze the Explorer close to the Kia, and you can still get in and out, but you know, I'd have to move the Equinox over to get the Ranger out, but that Ranger hardly ever moves. We just use the Explorer to run around town. She and I hardly have to have cars at the same time. So let me recap the ceiling structure here. These walls are about 15 feet, maybe 16. You know, I forget, it's been a long time since I've taken the measurements. And of course the doors are suspended there. So this is going to be a lengthy video because it's just going to encompass everything. Alright, so we covered this before. Dryer, little folding table, washer, cold water line coming in, second sub panel over here. I'll get to the first as I go up the stairs. Cold line runs in, splits. Washer and dryer have hot and cold, and then these parallel lines, you know, instead of using copper, it's that blue, what I call Mexican PEX. They just call it blue hose, but it's kind of a PEX, but you don't need any special tooling. And 40-gallon 220 electric water heater, utility tub. The garage actually had more luxury than the house did for a long time. And those water lines run up, and then they run through a conduit to enter the kitchen. I think I'm going to end up pulling them back through the wall, and I'm going to run them on the inside and then go through up to the house. And I'll cover that in detail. So the new additions since the other videos, to start with, I had this big shelf unit made because we have such an accumulation of stuff that we didn't sell or didn't give away when we moved from California. And I like to be able to work on the cars here on the garage floor, so I had to have something big enough to fit all the stuff. All of that plumbing we're using, you know, the pipes I hung from the ceiling, easily accessible. And I had my neighbor who does ironwork, beautiful ironwork, build this mezzanine for me. And just the right height that the Kia, even with the antenna on, fits underneath. And it serves as storage. Pretty nice how he did this. He recessed this so he could get enough height for the car, but he recessed it so the door will swing in here. And it's easy enough to step on here. So my desk, my office stuff, all this stuff will go into the rooms upstairs when they're completed. But for the meantime, this makes for storage. And of course, once that happens, I'll have more breathing room to spread out. I had to build this little extension platform, so I have a reserve gas tank here. And that way, you know, if when I'm gone for a couple of weeks, Evie has access to extra gasoline. So, a lot of kitchen supplies and so on. And this wall, this is beside the Kia down below. We have all this shelving, and again I have some office supplies there. So enough of the garage. I'm going to hit the clicker, close the door, and we'll work our way upstairs. Now my two little animal friends are here to meet me. So first, for perspective sake, from the street you could see this entry door. So you have the option of walking through this man door and coming here to the steps, or coming from the garage through this man door to get to the steps. And I have a light switch running here. It's all pretty primitive, you know, with concrete block. You either run channels in the block or you just leave the wiring outside. So we'll work our way up to the patio, which is the roof of the garage. And this looked a lot more like a construction material storage area. My wife cleaned up all the masonry sand that was here and took it up above. Now I'm going to have to try to change my angle a bit because of the sun, so we don't get glare. But she loves her plants. So we don't have a railing yet, but those plants act as a deterrent to keep the dog from getting too close to the edge. And that material is still for forms. So since we're still doing building, we can't get rid of it yet. And of course, the dog house that came from California is in the corner, and a few chairs to sit and so forth. So here we go with the new. So that second floor is sitting on what used to just be the roof of the house, and that's going to now be the floor of the second floor, which is going to be our master bedroom. And let's just do a quick tour inside. I covered this in previous videos, but I'm trying to do a comprehensive video now in order to not have everyone need to look at all the previous videos. Welcome to Mexico. If it isn't music, it's loud exhaust and ATVs and whatever else have you. Seems the wife went out because everything's locked up real good here, so now we're in the kitchen. And again, very crowded with furniture that wouldn't ordinarily be in the kitchen, like this little chest of drawers, is simply because we don't have the room to spread everything out. So we just tried to be as creative as possible. These two shelves were in my office for books and so on, but temporarily my wife's using it as a medicine cabinet and kitchen stuff cabinet. Now, this part of the kitchen she had done before I met her. So nothing fancy, but everything's here. Stove, refrigerator. She's all of her little magnets and all the places we've traveled together. And our drinking water dispenser sits back here, and then there's a tank for the gas for the stove. Now my goal is to put that in the garage and run a line up in here, and I'll show you where those water lines come in when I get back outside. So this is the bedroom, and she won't be too disappointed that I'm filming because she has it all made up. I had to build this closet because we had to empty 5 closets in the house in California to fit everything in here. And that bureau, or that, I don't know what you call it, kind of a, closet, it has hanging room and so on, and for years that's what she did. I brought my printer from upstairs because I've been doing some work. And I've covered the climate before. Even though we're way south, the days here don't usually exceed 100, and the evenings go into the 70s because we're at 4,200 feet of elevation. So that fan in the window just draws the night air, and we're always comfortable, even at the hottest part of the summer. What's uncomfortable is the winter here. The winters get cold. Last year we had days down to 16 degrees. So I'll just cover a little bit of the bathroom. We just installed a new faucet on this sink because I had corrected some plumbing, and again, you'll get to see most of that explained as I work my way upstairs. So I just extend, there was a copper pipe here because originally she had an instant water heater hooked up. Now with the water tank we don't need it, so I just threw a head on it. And I left the long length there to give me options for later. But this bathroom, it's going to need to be remodeled, but for the meantime, it's all tile. Floor, ceiling, everything. Easy to keep clean, easy to mitigate any moisture problems. The only thing we need to do is get rid of this wooden entry door because it swells from the humidity, even if it's not humidity from the bathroom. And metal doors with the masonry here just seem to work better. So let's go back outside and I'll work my way upstairs. So my wife loves plants, as you can tell, and these steps eventually, when the house is done, are going to be redone in a better fashion. But these were always what I call the mountain goat stairs, just makeshift, temporary, and we always had to get to the back of the property or upstairs to the old wooden house, which appeared in previous videos. But she packed the earth in pretty good and packed the plants in, and she used a bunch of the block that we had left over and made a little retainer here to keep the water from washing the dirt down, and it lets her have her plants. She has some chili pepper plants and some herbal plants from which she makes tea. So let me cover this. You can see this is the water entry and the kitchen drain, and there are 2 4-inch ABS conduits that run inside of this concrete. Now the reason I did that was so I could fish it out and make repairs anytime it was necessary. I used to have water lines running outside up this side, and I eliminated them, and I'll show you what I did. I just continued from the kitchen inside instead of having them run here. So I took the 2 live ends because she always wanted a faucet here, and I put both hot and cold water on the wall. Now if I ever relocate the water lines, and my wife just came home, so she's surrounded by the critters. When I relocate the water lines, they'll come through this area, through that metal plate and run straight into the house. And again, I'll have a gas line running from downstairs in there as well, and that will eliminate the need for the conduit for fresh water. The drain, I may run the drain inside, maybe not, but those two faucets are going to have to be relocated to this corner since I'm going to pull the water lines out. So much for that. So let's work our way up. So in the previous, this perimeter wall has been up for a while. It appears in previous videos. But this second floor is now finished and ready for a roof. But I told the builder to kind of hold off because I had one last financial obligation and I wanted to take care of between now and February in case I decide to retire. It's not imminent yet and not in stone. I may or may not. In this window showing access here, this is one of the bedrooms, and I'm going to have to climb into one of these windows now. My wife carried all this sand up here bucket by bucket, and they were carrying the gravel up bucket by bucket, and got to the point where there was too much to keep adding to it, so we decided to hold off and just keep it down below. Now, all of these stones they use for these corner pillars of concrete and those horizontal beams of concrete, so we couldn't pitch it. But in order to walk, my wife came up here and she took all the stones and just dropped them along the wall so that walking here wouldn't be obstructed. They weren't a big pile right under my feet. You know, God bless her for her attention to little details. So again, perimeter wall, walking area, and then the house. So let's climb in a window and we'll take a tour of the inside. You know, I think I'm going to take advantage of this gravel pile so I don't have to step down so far. So, I just stepped into what's going to be one of the bedrooms. Need to get in this corner, keep the sun behind me. And not a huge bedroom, but we measured. There'll be enough room for a single or a queen bed to run from this wall to that wall and still give a little walking space. And if you notice, nothing's square because the lot wasn't square. So the house is all kind of trapezoidal. Those orange conduits are for electric. So any wiring is going to be fished through there. Where you see them coming through the walls, there's either going to be an outlet or a switch. And in the future, one of these walls will have one of those split heating devices, heating cooling devices, and the main box will be up on the roof. We'll probably need 3 of them because you can only run one unit with 2. So now this is the hallway. I'll give you this view of it, and the hallway provides access to what's going to be a nice sized bathroom here. So we have guests staying in these 2 bedrooms. They'll have access to that bathroom. And again, I'll kind of walk around here to keep the sun from getting in to mitigate some of the glare. So we'll continue down the hall. And this is the old roof of the house, which is going to be the master bedroom. So again, with the sun, it makes it difficult. So as soon as I get close to the wall, the glare goes away. So I did show you what this looked like from down below, from the patio, which is the garage roof. I love sitting out there in the summer evenings. Yeah, I come home from work in Tucson or Phoenix when it's, you know, way over 100 degrees and it's 73, 74 degrees and a little breeze. And there, of course, is the panorama. And I always have to comment, you know, in Mexico, there may be an appearance of poverty, but you have to remember, as far as you can see, there are no mortgages and virtually no property taxes. So unlike the States, you actually own what you have here. It may be humble, but it belongs to you. And in your lifetime, they'll never foreclose for taxes. I guess it's what it's like when you're not starting wars all over the world, needing to deprive everybody of their earnings. So, and I've covered in the past. Now, this is our reserve water tank, at 1,100 liters, 300 some gallons. This will always go on the highest finished point of the house. And, you know, right now we have water on all day one day, and then it turns off about 10 in the morning, comes back on at 6 at night. We never go through more than 40 gallons. We can even wash clothes, everything. We never run out of water with this reserve. You just don't have a tremendous amount of pressure other than in the garage because you have a long fall to get down there. Once this tank is on the 3rd floor, then most of the house is going to have pressure even when the water's off. And this is all either copper or that blue hose, and I already have it wrapped with insulation for winter. So this is going to be the bedroom, the bathroom for the master bedroom. And I wanted a nice, big, comfortable bathroom. You walk in, vanity will be in this corner, toilets going here, lots of leg room in front of them by the doorway, and this entire area is going to be a shower, but we are going to put a shallow tub in the corner so that, you know, kind of a jacuzzi tub. So if you want to lie down in the tub, you can. But, you know, I was happy to have a walk-in shower. My wife likes the idea of having the option of the tub, so we'll design something when the time comes. Now for the last part. It used to be that the house was just on the other side of that door. That's where it ended. And the bathroom was from where you see this wall going over to the other side. So what you see in concrete, this used to be mostly the roof of the bathroom. It was just a little return that made the house L-shaped. And of course, you know, if you can picture it, I walked you from the bedroom in there. So the bedroom is under that section, and the bathroom is under where I just took you, and another bathroom's going on top. So we always had a moisture problem with this back wall. This is the back wall to the kitchen. So I talked to the builder and I had him dig everything out. That was a bathroom wall over there, and as well there was a moisture problem. And I just told him, dig it all out and we'll use it for the staircase. Since we're building 2nd and 3rd floors, we have to have a way to get there. Now, right where you see those 2 water lines, eventually a doorway is going to go just to the side of those to walk here, come up these stairs, get onto this landing, and then to go to the 3rd floor, the stairs are going to begin here. Now the sun's going to cause a bit of glare, but those stairs are going to go up and end right where he has that beam poured that's still housed in the wood. You can see the rebar sticking out to catch the stairs. And the third floor will go up from there. So the third floor room is going to have a balcony the size of our master bedroom, this area. So all of this area you see won't get built on. It's just going to have a roof, which is going to be a balcony. But the rest, the third floor, will cover all of this staircase. And we're going to have one huge room up above the size of these two bedrooms. And then one bathroom and a big, huge storage closet up there. So it'll kind of be like an attic or a retreat. So, as I explained, I used to have these water lines running up the side of the house. And I wanted them inside. Now, since this is just a utility corridor and a staircase, I wasn't concerned with aesthetics. But I don't want to have to insulate these lines for the rest of my life. So once the house is all built, they're going to be inside and protected from the elements. So they come from under the kitchen sink through the wall, and then I just ran them up parallel along here. And for the bathroom, you have these two lines go into the shower valve. And yes, it looks primitive right now because I was in a rush. I had a week off and I had the time to connect it, so I did it. This water line runs to the toilet, and those two run into the bathroom sink, hot and cold. So there are 2 hots and 3 colds here. Then, to get water from that reserve tank, that comes into this T right here. And it just gravity feeds, and it feeds the house. And you can see there's not a lot of drop between the tank and the level of the water, so we get kind of a trickle, but it's enough. It's enough to shower, it's enough to do dishes, it's enough to wash your hands, to function, and so forth. So for the rest of this wall, after the doorway, this will get cabinets put in. There will still be enough room. Even if the cabinets come out halfway, there's still room to squeeze through here and walk, and it'll act as a pantry for additional kitchen stuff, because my wife never seems to have enough room for pots and pans and cooking stuff that she likes. So in the future, come through a door, hit the steps, walk upstairs, make a left turn to the master bedroom, or guest, make a right turn to the 2 guest bedrooms and that bathroom. And beyond that, there will be another staircase that goes up here to the 3rd floor. And we're going to have more guest space than we have for us, but big family, and I like having visitors. I certainly will once I'm retired. So for now, that's it. Thank you for watching. We almost did 29 minutes here.